Hey y'all, today we are going to be doing kind of a random video. I'm not really sure what I'm going to exactly talk about, but when you walk around, you'll always find something to talk about. I'll probably be dead at the end of this video because it's so hot out here. I'm just kidding. So it is really hot out there. I was watching the news this morning, or actually I turned on the TV and the news was on. And it was talking about out here in central Alabama, it's going to be 111, 110 heat index, which is really hot. Today is 97 degrees out here. I am going to be walking in the shade of the woods, so it's going to be bearable. So you might ask, why am I not driving the golf cart? Because the golf cart is messed up again. It feels like I just fixed it. Actually, it feels like Dad just fixed it. But this time, it's not the batteries, it's the wheels. The wheels, none of the wheels will move. I don't know, I was driving, I stopped to put my seatbelt on the golf cart real quick, and then when I just pressed the pedal to go, it wouldn't even drive. The pedals, or the wheels, were just stuck there. They would not move. So, I had to resort to walking home. I told my dad, he went out there and looked at it. We got it close to home. He thinks it's either the hub or the axle, which I don't know what either one of those are. I know what the axle is. Something, ow. Have y'all ever been walking like this? Just walking and then you went and you put your foot like that? But you've been going really fast and it hurts? I do that 10 times a day. Anyway. Pretty woods here, ain't they? As I was saying, there's the other trail. But as I was saying, it's either the hub or the axle. The axle's the thing that makes it spin, I think. The thing that makes it spin, I think. I don't know. But sometimes I wonder, you see these little holes right here? These little things? I think those might be from velvet ants. Here's some bird paws. It is hot out here. It is about 100 degrees outside right now. Like 97 or 98 or 100. I don't know. Today is Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. It is July 20th. I was actually able to remember it within a minute there. I always forget the date. It's like every morning when I wake up, I look at the date to see what day it is, and then I can't remember it. Here is just a pop-up loofah gourd I had. I'm not seeing any loofah gourds on it, just a lot of leaves. But I am seeing flowers up here. And then I think these flowers are the ones that already bloomed. So they should be getting something. Here's the zinnias. So many zinnias. I know. I kind of overseeded. My purple lacinato kale did great this year. We got kale out of it, froze it. I think we froze some of it. Here is some, what's it called? Broccoli. Yeah, it's broccoli. Can't remember what kind, but broccoli. I think it might be, I can't pronounce it, but it's like this green spiky broccoli. I will put a picture of it. I think it might be that, but the heat is really eating it up. And the worms are eating it up too. The heat is making it bolt. The worms are eating it up. Some okra here, some of this, I know. Some of this okra I'm saving for seed. I am going to try to pick it more often, but I really just let it go not too long ago. We have been extremely busy with a few things. Just a few things. We've been extremely busy, occupied in other things. Because, so I just haven't had time because we've been occupied. I haven't had time to really tend to my garden much. I know, it looks like it did last year. You can't really walk, but it's better than last year, kind of. So, because now you can at least walk through it. You can at least see the ground. I do got some weeds. I'm going to try to remedy that. I pulled up some by the tomatoes today, but it has just been too hot to do anything. I promise y'all I'm not exaggerating. It's been hot out here. I did pull up some of these weeds today. Like, look at it. I pulled up these weeds about 6 hours ago. And that's them right now. Literally, they're already turning brown and dead. I do got my peppers, so every morning I pack a lunchbox, even though I don't go anywhere to, I don't go to work yet, and we don't go to public school. We stay at home all day long, every single day. It's the way we like it. But we stay home all the time, so we don't go anywhere to take a lunch. But I like the fun of just like making the lunch. I just slipped again. I just walked in and I did this again. But as I was saying, here's my corn. I'm saving this I just did it again. I was just walking and then I did that again. Dang it. Here's the corn. We're going to decorate with it. I think it'll be really nice to decorate with. As you can see, it's already starting to dry on top. It's looking nice, kind of, for decorating. Let's see if we can walk without slipping again. Let me put my shoes on all the way. But as I was saying, what was I saying? As I was saying, what in the world was I saying? Dang. I can't remember what I was saying. I don't know. What in the world was I saying when I slipped? Oh, about my lunchbox. I just remembered. It took me like 5 minutes to remember, but I remember now. Look at these muscadines. These are some purple, the round purple muscadines. As I was saying about my lunchbox, I just pack a lunchbox for the fun of it. I like finding little things to put in the actual dividers. My dad got it for free at his work. They were giving out lunchboxes for some random reason. So my dad got one for me and my sister to just play with. My sister, we were supposed to take turns with it, but she don't ever use it, so I use it. And I just like finding things to fill the compartments with. Now the great thing is I love putting vegetables in there. I like to eat my vegetables every day. But one thing I really found is okra and ranch is really good. So the great way to continue picking my okra, to remember from my okra, is so that I can remember to have okra salad. That's what I named it. Cut up okra, put it in the little compartment, put ranch in there, mix it up. Ranch covered okra is delicious. I love it. So, because I eat ranch with everything. I do. Ranch is my favorite condiment. Definitely my favorite condiment. Ketchup is good, but ranch and then Chick-fil-A sauce and then ketchup. I do like the Chick-fil-A sauce. We actually just bought the little, the Chick-fil-A sauce you can buy. It's like the honey mustard. My dad doesn't like honey mustard very much. And I don't think my sister likes it much either. I'm not sure about my mom. But, my brother, he doesn't like honey mustard. So, I think it's I'm the only one that kind of really likes it. I like to eat it with fries. But, here's how things are looking. Very green because of this hot weather. There's a sky. This is the place. It's hard to think. This was literally a forest. When we first moved here, this was like a forest, kind of. There were trees there. You see where it's grown up, those two spots? That's where trees were. Because there were trees growing up, and we can't mow over the stumps, of course. So, it grows up. We should weed around it, but I'm telling you, when you got 30 acres of land, it's impossible to keep up with it all. I was weed eating yesterday, and I was weed eating behind our chicken coop, and I literally was out there for 5 minutes, and I was sweating. But let me tell you, right here, right where I'm standing, it's extremely hot, probably because that sun right there. But here is our ocean. I call it the ocean, but it's just a pond, even though it's a lake. Here's something I'm wanting to do. Take this is a, ratchet strap thing. Measure the water. Let's see. It's right here today. Yeah, right here. So I can measure how far it goes down every day because it hasn't rained in, I don't know when. Lots of snakes around here. We just killed a water moccasin. I wouldn't say just killed, but it was like a month ago. Here, yeah. It was like a month ago this Saturday. that we killed a water moccasin in our front yard. It was a very venomous water moccasin. Had a yellow belly. Whew. My sister spotted it. My dad was actually a couple miles down the road. He just left to go to the store real quick, you know. The store's not too far from here, so he just went. He was only a couple miles down the road. And then we called him and we said, there's a water moccasin out in the yard. My sister was like, there's a snake out in the yard. Me and my mom went out there and I identified it as a water moccasin because it had a diamond-shaped head and very venomous. It's just a good thing that my sister didn't walk over it, and you know. But here's the other side of the pond. Look at all those trees. And this tree. I haven't been fishing in, I think it'll be a month this Saturday, or 3 weeks or something this Saturday. I just have not been fishing lately because it's been too hot. But there is the pond. Actually, I think it was 2 years ago. Me and my sister, back when it was like the grass was higher, you know, like 2 years ago, before we even like, hey, there's a fish. There's a lot of fish over there. I better get in shade because the phone's actually getting hot just standing here. Even though we're moving around, it's getting hot. When the grass was higher, I was bending down to get a frog. This was like 2 years ago. In the summertime, or spring or something, I was bending down to look at this frog, and then my sister was like, there is literally a snake right beside your hand. Like, my hand was right here. The snake was literally like right there. It was like a little bitty snake. It was like a baby. I don't know. It actually kind of looked like an anaconda. I know you guys think I'm probably crazy like saying it looked like an anaconda, but it was kind of like green with like kind of like spots on it. It was strange. I think it was actually just probably a non-venomous water snake, or maybe it was a water moccasin. But the thing that kept me from getting bitten by it was I was looking at this other frog. This was like when frogs just now hatched. There was millions of them. The snake had a frog shoved in its mouth, so it was like eating a frog. So it had its mouth so full of food that it was not biting. It's very thankful that I didn't get bitten that day. So that was amazing. This was like 2 years ago though. But yeah, I've been very careful around here for snakes. So here's what the farm looks like from this distance. Right beside the pond, there's our pond swing. We love to go fishing around here. We've had a couple church members come fish here. Last year, we've had my oldest brother, some of his friends. Him and some of his friends have come fishing here a couple times. So, yeah. It's good to have a pond so you can just walk right out your door and then fish. It's very nice. We're very thankful to have the pond. That's one of our things when we were looking for land. My dad's mowing down there, so that's why it's loud. That's one of the things we were looking for when we were looking for land. We were like, we want to make sure that a place has a pond or a creek or a water source. Because I guess if the water ever failed, then we have water right in our backyard. Because we don't think that pond will ever fully dry up. It'll never fully dry up, we don't think. Because it's just too, it's been there for years. Like, years. I'm kind of risking my life going in this spot. Actually, I'm just kidding. So here's where our creek is. And let me tell you, you can see where the bed is. You can see those two tire marks, kind of. See them in there? Like, you see the ditch right there and then the ditch right there. That's like tire marks or something. And there's like, let me tell you, in the wintertime, when this creek goes, when it overflows, it never does it in the summertime. Like, it is almost always fully dried up by April, probably, middle April. It's almost always dried up, middle April. Because it comes overflow from the pond, and it literally rushes like a river. Maybe not quite like a river, but very much rushing in the winter time. And it's like a shame because like we don't need the creek in the wintertime when it's too cold to go barefoot and run around and stuff. But it's the way it is. There's through the woods. We got a whole privet forest. So we're going down to the animals. Going down to the animals. We have 2 sheep, 1 goat, and a dog. The 2 sheeps, their names are Matilda and Simon, and then Willow. She's the goat right here. There's this rope from when we were feeding them. I will. Soon it will be a year that I've gotten her. July 26th. And then we got Simon. Again, another leash that from feeding. We gotta lock them up when we feed Charles. Our dog actually has a, something bit him, whether it was a spider or I don't know, we don't know what it is. Something bit him and it bled and it was bad. So we've been putting some antibiotic ointment on it to keep it from maybe getting infected or anything like that. And then we are trying to keep it like kind of out of the dirt, and we had to put a collar on him we got from Tractor Supply to keep him from biting it because he will bite it like crazy and it will never heal if we don't. Okay, so down here is what I like to call Ireland. Not really, but as you can see, it's so green down there and it's kind of hilly, you know, it's a hill. So I like to call Ireland because, you know, Ireland is green and it's hilly. So I'm coming at the chicken coop. Now let me tell you, we actually got rid of all of our chickens because they was not laying us any eggs. They were no use to us. It was just, they weren't doing good for us. So they were also flying over. They were not happy in their pen. Even though it was a plenty big pen, they got lots of food. They, for some reason, just did not find any joy out of being in that pen. They didn't like it, so I guess they just decided not to lay us any eggs. So we are going to get some Buff Orpingtons sometime, and maybe that will work, I don't know. I just kind of got tired of dealing with them after a while, so we got rid of our chickens. We did keep 5 of them. We kept our 1 Buff Orpington. She's like 6 years old. 1 Buff Orpington. Our 2 Astralorps. And then we had our, one of my favorite chickens. His name is Alpha. He was our first one from our batch that we incubated, actually. Our first batch that we hatched, we incubated him. Actually, we got like a few more, but we got rid of him too because they were also doing us no good on our farm. So we kept 1, and his name is Alpha Bird. He's a nice chicken, you know. He comes to you, and he's a nice chicken. So we love him. So me and my sister wanted to keep him. And then we also kept a gray chicken because I really love the color of the gray chickens. So it's really hot out here. So I think I'm going to go inside now because it's probably not a good idea to wipe your sweat on your dress, but I don't know. It's hot out here. Been doing it for years. This is a pear tree. It's doing pretty good. And then we got another pear tree over there. There's the garden. I'm not even gonna go in there and explain everything to y'all because it's hot. We got a autumn blaze maple tree, and then we got another autumn blaze maple over there. Bradford pear tree, which will be coming down eventually. Here's our pool. Pool's doing great this year. It's still a little bit cloudy, but I don't know. It's great to swim in. We love swimming in it. Me and my sister were just finished swimming in it not too long ago today. Passion flowers. I love passion flower blooms. There are a ton of them. Ooh, the shade feels good. There are some passion fruits down here somewhere. Yeah. So, it's good. These little caterpillars right there. So I think I'm gonna go outside now because I think I pretty much showed y'all a good update on how Homestead is going. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's hot out here, so I'm going to now go inside. It was great in the woods, and then when we got outside, it started getting really hot. Or when we got outside here in the sunshine, it started getting really hot. So I will see y'all on the next video. Cut that your head. Alright. Okay, so if you notice, she is a beautiful purplish kind of color. If you can see, I'm going to post a picture on the community tab so y'all can see. Actually, by the time this comes out, it'll already be posted. But make sure to go over and see the community tab if you have not already seen it that I just posted.
They're thinking, oh, purple,
a few days ago.
Leanna, anything that starts with an L.
So she's a purple color, and I love this name. I have to admit, I did not come up with it by myself. Okay, so I have to admit, I did not come up with it myself. I actually looked up like 500 most popular lizard names, and I'm literally scrolling through this list, and I'm just like, people are naming their lizards like stupid, weird names like Xavier, Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball's really not. It's a really famous
It's
game.
weird ones. Now,
It's a famous game.
here is her name reveal. Okay, so I'm sure some of you probably have grown this flower before. And this flower is a lilac. They are called a lilac. So, it's a beautiful purple flower, as y'all can see on the picture. It's a beautiful purple flower. I'd love to grow them one day. It's a lilac, but as you can see, she's not. I'm not naming her Lilac. I'm naming her Lila. I think that is the most beautiful name that I could come up with. My mom came up with some amazing names as well, such as Dottie. And okay, so I have to explain the Miss Speckleface thing. Okay, so my oldest lizard, his name is Sunny, as I've talked about almost this whole video. Sunny, my mom calls him Freckleface, Mr. Freckleface, because he has freckles all over his face. And she's had that name for months for him. And then she got this one, I got this one, and she always, like, when she comes in to tuck us goodnight, she looks, and she says, "Goodnight, Mr. Freckleface." And then she says, "Goodnight, Miss Speckleface." This is speckled because there's little speckles all over her. And she's a girl, I hope, so we're going to call her Miss Speckleface. So he's Freckleface, she's Speckleface. So that's kind of the meaning with all that. I know on the community post I didn't make myself exactly quite clear on that, but her name is Lila, which I absolutely love that name. I know some of you picked Penny, but I kind of just had to have a third option for you guys, or a fourth option. So I kind of just I was like, what name? Oh, Penny. Or I was actually looking around, and then I was watching a television show, and they were talking about pennies on there. And I was like, I'll name her Penny. Or I'll suggest a name, Penny. So I had Penny, I had Lila, I had Dottie.
I put a random penny I found on the back of someone's car.
You probably should have done that. And then I had...
They drove off with it.
And then I have Miss Speckleface. So my mom calls her Miss Speckleface as a nickname. I call her Lila. So I
call her
love
Dewdrop.
My sister calls her Dewdrop. I don't do that. I love the name Lila. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope y'all enjoyed seeing Lila and talking about her. She's beautiful. I'll put some pictures at the end of this video so y'all can kind of see. She jumps though. Like, that's one thing she does. She jumps.
You know, we ought to have one of those little brands where they say subscribe for a quarter.
Okay, so I'll put a picture, but you can't tell on camera, but she is really like purplish. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all on the next adventure.